Hey everyone, welcome back to another Dota breakdown. In this video, I will be discussing farming patterns, more specifically from the carry role. I'll be using this game 1-win versus Enigma Galaxy in ESL Division 2, which happened 2 days ago as an example. And hopefully this video can help you farm faster and farm in the correct way in the game. If you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up because it helps me a lot. So let's dive right in. Mainly this game, we will see that both carries will have kind of uncontested free farm. I don't really want to go into the specifics of why they are getting free farm or anything like that. Of course, you will find yourself in games where you will not have free farm and you will struggle. So this video is not specifically targeted towards that sort of situation. It's probably going to be for a situation where you do have free farm and you want to continue snowballing that lead and farming in the correct way, in a snowbally way where you're always doing something with your net worth. Even though you're not interacting with enemy heroes that much, the way you position yourself on the map is intimidating for the enemy. And here we see a really good example of it with the Medusa. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead. So here laning phase is a bit over. So when the laning phase is over, ideally as a carry, you want to continuously farm the wave that comes into your lane, right? You will see a lot of lower MMRs that the laning phase extends even into the double-digit numbers on the clock, right? To the 10, 15 minutes, people are still playing lanes. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing in the way where you want to continuously keep farming the lane creeps that come in because they give you a lot of gold and XP. They're the most valuable source of income for you in the game. If you are in doubt of farming a camp or a wave, always try to farm the wave. It's a little good way to always pressure the enemy because you will be pushing the wave into them and giving yourself information about where they are. Of course, if you are in danger of dying, you don't specifically have to just run to the wave and die on the wave, right? Try to use your brain a little bit, think about where the enemy heroes are, can you die or not? And that's not a specific thing for this video, but here we see the Medusa pulling for himself at 7:30. This helps him farm safely, right? Because the creeps will come under the tower. He will then take this wave. He looks at the timer. He wants to stack. Very nice. He already had stacked some camps here before. Goes back to lane, pushes the lane. Still kind of underleveled to farm the stacks. Contests the big camp because he sees the creeps are coming over. Pulls for himself again, right? This is very underlooked, and when you see he doesn't just walk over and auto-attack the creeps, right, to kill the camp fast. He pulls the camp to be able to farm the creeps under tower. So if he just pulls this and farms this immediately, this will have no effect. So pulling the small camp to be able to farm the lane creeps under tower is a really big win for the Medusa here. He's basically alleviating pressure by just farming, right? He's farming in the right way. Continuously pulling the small camp so he can safely farm the creeps under tower. In a lot of lower MMRs, people will just not pull at all, so you can just do it yourself. You can come here, pull the small camp, and you can safely farm under tower. And he continuously farms the lane creeps. There's some fight going on. Hoodwink gets ganked. He joins. Nice, easy kill. Walks back to lane, continuously pushes the lane. You see how he doesn't go for the Ancients? He's not strong enough yet. It takes way too long for him to farm these Ancients. He will double farm these camps. He prioritizes stacking over pulling the small camp, which at this point is probably correct, right? 10 minutes. You don't want to keep pulling the small camp at 10 minutes. You can just farm everything. Laning phase is kind of over. And you see here, he will start doing this. He will start double farming every camp, right? This is something you really want to do when you're playing carry is you want to find the way to farm 2 camps at the same time always. So every time you farm a camp, think about, can I be farming another camp at the same time, right? And you can do this specifically with Medusa because of split shot. You can also do it with Gyrocopter, with Flak Cannon. That's another one that comes to mind, right? You can do it with Luna because of the glaives. You can pull one camp into the other one and farm both. Here he still doesn't feel strong enough to be able to farm the Ancients. He probably wants to keep clearing this wave, right? Remember, the siege wave is always a very important wave to clear, because it alleviates a lot of pressure under the tower. If you are able to kill the siege, it's the neutral creep that gives the most XP and gold together with the range creep. So here, he safely farms the Ancients from far away, right? He takes a really far position. He takes little to no damage when he's farming this. so he's always full mana. Another common mistake you will see with low MMR players is that they will just sit in front of the camp and they will lose all their mana to farm this, and then they will put themselves in a really bad spot where they'll have to choose between going back to base or just walking back to lane and being the risk of dying. Here, he just farms with full resources. There's a random Dazzle walking over to block his camps. And as you saw there, he walked over to the lane to farm the lane creeps before he finished the Ancient. So you see he always prioritizes the lane creeps. He wants the lane to be shoved in so he can safely farm without the threat of dying. Here he's going to do the double camp trick again, where he just farms both camps at the same time. Sartor contests him, but that's all right. And every minute you want to be able to just get these two camps that you can farm at the same times, right? So here he comes back here again to farm both camps. He saw that Dazzle warded his camps. He smartly dewards, right? You don't need, as a core, to have to wait for your support to come and deward for you. You can just do it yourself. It's more effective. And he continuously keeps walking to the lane and taking these creeps, right? You can see his priority where it is. He has this little spot where he really likes to stay on top of the hill. He knows exactly until where the creeps will go. Farm, farm, farm. He doesn't even finish the camp and he walks back to lane. And of course, in this game, you could argue that he's total free farm. He's not even getting ganked. But at the same time, it's very important that he continuously pushes this wave out to bring heroes here to have to defend this tower, right? If nobody's defending this tower, you're feeding information for your team that they're not playing in this lane and they can make a better decision in their lane, right? The same can be said kind of for Luna. He's just super free farming, pushing the wave out and farming the camps. So they're both taking the same approach. But in this game specifically, it's better for the Medusa because he has the counter matchup versus Luna, right? In some games, you could also be playing an active carry where you could take the gate and attack the enemy safe lane. But as a Medusa hero, your job is to farm the wave, push out the wave, and be kind of like a brick wall where they have to ram their heads into, and you're just sitting there continuously pushing the wave. He's not doing anything crazy, right? And he keeps walking back to the lane and farming. And another thing that's kind of important to notice is that the side lane cores, they have their own personal Ancient, right? You want to be farming this Ancient every minute. Every minute that passes, you either want to stack it or farm it to make sure you're getting maximum extraction of gold from the map. The Ancient is the camp that gives the most amount of gold. I do believe that the wave is the biggest pot of gold. Like, you come to the wave, you kill it, then you want to kill the Ancient. Here, he will double kill the camps again, right? At the same time, he farms both camps. Here, he decides not to farm the Ancient. He will farm this camp. Here, you can also double farm these camps, which he will do later on in the game. He goes back to lane. Here, he's gonna go for the stack timing, right? So even though he did not farm this camp, he stacked it, right? So he's not losing. The only effectiveness is this camp where he did not stack farm it, right? So he farms the Ancients. It doesn't matter if you're farming this camp and then stacking these. If all the camps spawn every minute, you're kind of farming the same way. He gets the Manta, so he will continuously use Mantas to push out waves. He won't really use it to farm jungle creeps. At jungle creeps, you kind of just want to farm them with your hero, and you want to send the Mantas to the waves, because on the wave is where you have the risk of dying, right? So here, he sends the Manta here. He has already farmed the Ancients. Here, he stacks this camp. And he's going to do the double farm camp again, which is very effective. He just keeps farming. He's going to farm. He could have farmed these, but Jakiro yoinked his creeps. He comes back to the lane, farms the lane, walks back to the Ancient, farms the Ancient, and he basically just does this over and over and over, right? Some things to consider are if you have an Ancient stack that nobody can clear, you might want to use your TP here after farming a cycle to clear the stack, just to make sure your team can keep stacking it and that they get the levels and the XP of the creeps here, because every time your team stacks it, they get bonus gold and XP for the stack, right? So that just helps your team a lot. And he doesn't really do anything crazy, right? He's not making any crazy plays. Of course, this is more tied to his hero, right? The Medusa hero is very specific in this matter, but it's good to look at the extremes and to see how the extreme is played. And then when you play a hero that's kind of in the middle, like a median hero, you can then deviate from this idea to singular moments where you decide to make a different decision, right? Where you decide to not farm these camps on cycle over and over and over. And here the Tormentor timing is coming, but he still stays here on Medusa. He almost has his Butterfly. 19 minutes, he's still farming his lane, right? He hasn't really used his TP or anything. He hasn't really contributed to the game, you could say. But he is contributing by farming the camps, by having his team have a net worth lead and hitting his timings fast. You remember in the last video I did, if you didn't check that video out, I recommend you do, where I talk about item timings. It's very important for you not to grief your own game by using your TP and trying to help your team at the correct and incorrect time in the game, right? The Medusa just wants to get to Butterfly and then ball with his team. Here, he kind of leaves the top area because his team is coming here. So he identifies that nobody's farming these camps. So he wants to extract the maximum amount of value from the map. That's why he moves over to this area. He checks the 20-minute rune, and then he sends the Mantis to the wave. Continuously does the double camp farm, right? Farms these camps. Then he's going to farm these two camps at the same time. And he continuously keeps doing it, right? Sending Mantis to the wave. Walks over here, farms his 2 items, and he's not in a rush, right? He has the counter matchup in this game. He just needs to farm, hit his timings, and he will probably win the game. And he just continuously does it until his team is ready for him to go with them, and they want to take a fight. Which is here. They're together at the mid tower. He comes over, clicks the tower. Mantas to farm waves. Here, he's trying to farm the Ancient. He won't really farm it, right? Kind of an incorrect choice here. He should have just sent it to the wave. He ends up killing the wave with his own heroes, and then he positions himself for the Roche. Right? So all his movement and his positioning is very mindful of which camps need to be farmed by his hero, and where can he position himself in a way where he makes the enemy feel very sad. If he just sits here all game, he will block the enemy from taking this tower, right? Because to get to this tower, you need to get here with the wave. If Medusa just insta-clears the wave every time, it becomes harder for the enemy to make a move here without actually killing the Medusa. And the longer the Medusa goes on without dying, the stronger she just gets, right? Because Mana Shield just becomes even stronger, right? So yeah, that's basically it. I don't want to keep going on and talking about other random topics in this video. That's the main idea. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, and what would you like to see in the next video? Some sort of topic I can cover over by analyzing some pro match or anything in specific. Thank you everybody for watching, and see you next time.